In a quiet town, behind an ordinary front door, a woman built a life on lies so convincing, even her own family never saw the poison coming. This is her story. This is her crime. Marie Hilley looked like any other housewife in Anniston, Alabama. Polite, soft-spoken, devoted to her husband and 2 children. Neighbors called her reliable. Nobody imagined what she was capable of. Her husband, Frank Hilley, worked steady hours at a local factory. He trusted his wife completely, with his meals, his medicine, his life. In the spring of 1975, Frank began to feel unwell, stomach pain, nausea, fatigue that wouldn't lift. Marie was there every step of the way, the attentive caretaker. Doctors were puzzled. His symptoms came and went in strange waves, worse at home, better in the hospital. No one asked why. By May, Frank Hilley was dead. The official cause, hepatitis, complicated by his weakened condition. Marie collected on his life insurance without a single question asked. For a while, it seemed the story ended there, a grieving widow, a tragic illness. But Marie's life was only beginning to unravel. Years passed. Marie remarried, briefly, and something about her new husband's health began to mirror Frank's decline. Whispers started among people who remembered. Marie's daughter, Carol, had always been sickly as a child, hospitalized again and again for reasons no doctor could explain. At the time, no one connected the pattern. In 1979, authorities exhumed Frank Hilley's body. What they found inside his remains would change everything. Massive, undeniable levels of arsenic. Arsenic, slow, deliberate, nearly untraceable if no one goes looking. Someone had been feeding it to Frank Hilley for months. Investigators turned to Carol next. Her medical history was re-examined, and the same poison was found in her system, administered over years by the person meant to protect her. The suspect was the one person who had access to every meal, every glass of water, every dose of medicine. Marie Hilley herself. In 1979, Marie was arrested and charged with the murder of her husband and the attempted murder of her own daughter. At trial, prosecutors painted a portrait of calculated cruelty, a woman motivated by insurance money and a desire to control the people around her. The jury took little time. Marie Hilley was convicted of murder and sentenced to life in prison. For a moment, justice seemed settled. But Marie wasn't finished. In 1983, while on a work release program, she vanished, walking out of the facility and disappearing into the night. She resurfaced hundreds of miles away in New Hampshire, under a new name, Robbie Hannon. Soft-spoken, charming, utterly unrecognizable as a convicted killer. As Robbie, she met a man named John Homan and married him, building a second life on the same foundation of lies that had defined her first. For a time, it worked. No one in New Hampshire knew they were sharing a home with a woman who had already poisoned her own family once before. But old habits and old patterns have a way of resurfacing. Concerns about her past began to surface, and investigators eventually tracked her down. In 1983, Marie Hilley was arrested again, her double life exposed, her fabricated identity stripped away in front of the community that had trusted her. Returned to prison, Marie's story took one final strange turn. In 1987, while on another furlough, she was found dead, collapsed outside in the cold, having fled once more. The woman who spent her life controlling the fates of everyone around her died alone. Exposed to the elements she tried to escape. Marie Hilley remains one of the most chilling case studies in domestic poisoning, a reminder that the most dangerous threats can come from inside the home. Frank Hilley, he was 45 years old. Carol Hilley, she was 20 years old. Lucille Frazier, she died in 1977. Carrie Hilley, she died in 1976. Frank Hilley was her only confirmed victim. The others remained suspected, but never proven.